Before we begin, I want to ask you something. Where are you watching this from? Which country are you in right now? And what time is it where you are? Take a moment to think about it. Are you watching in the middle of the day, late at night, or early in the morning? Wherever you are, whatever time it is, there is a reason this message reached you at this exact moment. Have you ever noticed a shift inside yourself that no one else seems to see? You used to crave being around people, laughter, noise, and gatherings. It made you feel alive. But now, you don't. Crowds feel heavy. Conversations feel shallow. Being surrounded by people leaves you drained instead of energized. And the strange part is, you can't explain it. You start asking yourself, am I broken? Am I missing something? Am I losing touch with life? What if I told you you are not losing anything at all? You are gaining something far greater, something so rare, so powerful, that once your heart feels it, nothing else will ever satisfy you the same way again. By the end of this video, you will finally understand why your heart stopped craving crowds, why silence now feels comforting, and why what feels like emptiness may actually be the beginning of the most extraordinary chapter of your life. Wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is, stay with me, because this message is meant for your heart, right now. When Allah becomes enough, the world becomes quiet. There comes a point in life when the heart feels full in a way it never felt before. Not full because everything is perfect, and not full because life has become easy, but full because the heart has finally found where it belongs. This is the moment when Allah becomes enough. Before this stage, the heart often looks outside itself for peace. It looks to people, to gatherings, to constant conversation, hoping that being surrounded will make the emptiness go away. But no matter how many people are around, the heart still feels tired. When Allah becomes enough, that tiredness slowly fades. At this stage, you may notice that you no longer feel excited by crowds the way you once did. Being around many people no longer fills you, and sometimes it even drains you. This does not mean you dislike people or that you have become distant. It means your heart has found a quieter place to rest. The heart realizes that peace does not come from being seen, heard, or included. It comes from feeling secure with Allah. When that security settles in, the need for constant company naturally becomes less. This change can feel confusing at first. You may wonder why you prefer quiet over noise now, or why being alone feels lighter than being surrounded. But this is not a step away from life. It is a step deeper into it. When Allah fills the heart, the noise of the world loses its power. You no longer need constant interaction to feel worthy or alive. Your sense of value is no longer tied to who is around you. When Allah becomes enough, the heart learns to be calm without distraction. It learns to sit in stillness without feeling empty. The soul no longer depends on external presence to feel complete because it has discovered an inner stability. This is a gentle state, not a harsh one. You still care about people, but you are no longer dependent on them for peace. The heart becomes steady, grounded, and content, knowing that what it truly needs is already with it. Allah removes the noise to restore clarity. Sometimes the heart becomes tired not because life is hard, but because it is too loud. Too many voices, too many opinions, too many expectations, and too much pressure to always be present and available. When this happens, the heart slowly loses clarity. You may still be busy, still surrounded, still talking and listening, but inside you feel confused, heavy, and unsettled. This is often when Allah begins to remove the noise, not suddenly and not harshly, but gently and wisely. You may notice that places you once enjoyed now feel overwhelming. Conversations that used to excite you now feel empty or draining. You may find yourself wanting less stimulation and more quiet, even if you cannot explain why. This is not weakness, this is mercy. Allah knows that clarity cannot grow in constant noise. The heart needs space to understand itself, to recognize what truly matters, and to reconnect with what it was created for. When Allah removes noise, He is not taking joy away from you. He is taking confusion away. Noise keeps the heart distracted. It fills time but empties meaning. In loud environments, it is easy to lose yourself trying to keep up, trying to please, trying to belong. Allah removes the desire for these spaces so the heart can stop performing and start being honest. In quiet moments, the heart finally has the chance to breathe. This process can feel uncomfortable at first. Silence can bring thoughts you were avoiding and feelings you pushed aside, but this is part of healing. Allah allows clarity to return by slowing life down. Without constant noise, you begin to notice what drains you and what gives you peace. You begin to understand your limits, your needs, and your direction. The heart becomes clearer because it is no longer pulled in too many directions. When the noise fades, awareness grows. You become more present, more thoughtful, and more intentional. You stop reacting to everything and start choosing what truly deserves your energy. This clarity is a gift. Allah removes noise not to isolate you, but to realign you. He quiets the outside world so the inside world can finally make sense. Separation is often a sign of spiritual growth. There are times in life when distance begins to grow without any clear reason. You may not have argued with anyone, and nothing dramatic may have happened, yet you feel yourself pulling back. You stop wanting to be everywhere. You stop forcing connections that no longer feel natural. This kind of separation can feel confusing and sometimes even painful, but very often it is a sign of growth happening inside the heart. As faith deepens, the heart becomes more aware of what affects it. Things that once felt normal may now feel heavy. Certain environments may leave you tired instead of inspired. This does not mean those places or people are bad. It simply means your heart is changing. Growth changes what you can carry. Allah allows this separation so the heart can become lighter and more focused. When everything is close and crowded, it is difficult to reflect. Distance creates space, and space allows understanding. Separation is also a way the heart learns to stand on its own. When we are always surrounded, we can lean too heavily on people for comfort and direction. Allah sometimes reduces this closeness so the heart learns where its true support comes from. This can feel lonely at first, especially if you are used to constant connection, but it is not abandonment, it is training. The heart is being taught how to rely more deeply on Allah. During this phase, you may notice that you prefer meaningful interactions over frequent ones. You may choose quality over quantity without consciously deciding to. Your time becomes more intentional. You are no longer interested in being everywhere just to feel included. This is not isolation, this is awareness. The heart begins to protect its energy and choose what truly benefits it. Separation also gives the heart time to heal. When life slows down and relationships become fewer, old thoughts and emotions often surface. This can be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Healing requires honesty, and honesty requires quiet. Allah creates this distance so the heart can process, release, and grow stronger. What feels like drifting away is often moving forward. Spiritual growth is not always loud or visible. Sometimes it looks like quiet evenings, fewer conversations, and a deeper inner life. Separation, in this sense, is not a loss. It is a sign that the heart is being prepared for a more grounded, sincere, and meaningful connection with Allah and with life itself. Crowds satisfy the ego, silence heals the heart. Being around many people can feel good at first. Crowds can make us feel important, noticed, and valued. When others listen to us, laugh with us, or pay attention to us, the ego feels satisfied. There is nothing wrong with enjoying connection, but when the heart depends on this attention to feel worthy, it slowly becomes tired. The ego may feel full for a moment, but the heart remains unsettled. Silence works in a very different way. Silence does not praise us, notice us, or entertain us. Instead, it brings us back to ourselves. When life becomes quieter, the heart is no longer distracted by reactions or opinions. This is often when we begin to notice what we have been avoiding. Feelings we pushed aside, thoughts we ignored, and needs we neglected begin to surface. This can feel uncomfortable, which is why many people fear silence. But discomfort does not always mean harm. Very often it means healing has begun. When you stop missing crowds, it may be because your heart no longer needs constant validation. The heart starts to understand that being seen by people does not always bring peace. Silence allows the heart to rest without pressure. There is no need to perform, explain, or impress. In quiet moments, the heart can be honest. Honesty is where healing begins. Silence also teaches humility. In crowds, the ego can grow stronger through comparison and competition. In silence, those distractions fade. The heart learns to listen instead of seeking attention. It learns patience instead of reaction. Over time, silence softens the heart and reduces the noise inside it. This inner quiet brings a calm that crowds cannot offer. Healing does not always come through conversation. Sometimes it comes through stillness. When the heart has space, it can reflect, understand, and let go. Silence allows the heart to reconnect with what truly matters. This is why silence heals. It does not feed the ego, but it strengthens the heart, making it calmer, clearer, and more at peace. Allah is teaching you contentment without dependence. There is a stage in life when the heart begins to feel steady even when nothing around it is changing. You may still have the same responsibilities, the same challenges, and the same unanswered questions, yet inside there is a quiet calm. This is often the stage when Allah is teaching the heart contentment. Contentment does not mean that everything is perfect or that you no longer need people. It means your peace is no longer dependent on them. Before this stage, the heart may rely heavily on presence and approval. Being around others, receiving attention, or feeling included can strongly affect your mood. When that presence is missing, the heart feels unsettled. But when Allah teaches contentment, the heart learns to stay calm, whether people are near or far. Your emotional balance no longer rises and falls with who is around you. This does not mean you stop caring about relationships. It means you stop depending on them to feel whole. The heart begins to understand that people can add joy, but they are not the source of stability. Stability comes from trust in Allah. When that trust grows, the heart becomes less anxious about being alone and less fearful of being forgotten. This stage often brings freedom. You no longer feel pressure to be everywhere or to always be available. You can enjoy company without clinging to it and appreciate solitude without feeling empty. Your sense of worth becomes more stable because it is no longer tied to reactions or attention. The heart becomes rooted instead of restless. Learning contentment without dependence also brings emotional strength. Disappointments hurt less, and distance feels less threatening. You are able to accept change without losing yourself. Allah teaches this gently, through experiences that show the heart that it can stand steady on its own. This kind of contentment is not loud or dramatic. It is quiet, calm, and deeply reassuring. You are learning to protect your inner world. As the heart grows, it begins to notice what nourishes it and what drains it. Not every conversation feels light, not every environment feels safe, and not every relationship leaves you feeling whole. This awareness is a sign that the heart is maturing, learning to protect itself from unnecessary strain. It is not about judging others or withdrawing from life. It is about caring for the part of you that carries faith, peace, and sincerity. The inner world is delicate, and Allah teaches the heart to safeguard it. When you begin to feel uneasy in crowded or chaotic spaces, it is often a sign that your heart is learning discernment. You no longer tolerate situations that leave you restless or conversations that leave you empty. This does not mean you are rejecting people. It means you are choosing what aligns with your inner balance and what does not. The heart begins to recognize that energy is precious and it learns to spend it wisely. Protecting your inner world also means setting boundaries without guilt. You may find yourself saying no to gatherings, invitations, or commitments that once felt necessary. This is a sign of growth. Allah allows this to happen so the heart can focus on what truly matters rather than scattering its energy in many directions. Over time, the heart becomes less reactive and more intentional in how it engages with the world. This process can feel lonely at times because it requires stepping back from familiar patterns, but it is necessary for deepening your connection with yourself and with Allah. When the inner world is protected, the heart becomes stronger, calmer, and more aligned with purpose. Experiences are no longer merely passing moments, they become opportunities for growth and reflection. You learn that peace is not found in every place or in every person, but in the balance and care you give to your own soul. Depth matters more than numbers. As the heart matures, it begins to understand a simple but powerful truth. It is not about how many people surround you, but about the quality of those connections. Life used to feel like it was about being everywhere, being seen, being included, and keeping up with everyone. That feeling slowly fades when the heart starts valuing depth over numbers. You begin to notice that constant social interaction does not bring the peace it once seemed to, and superficial relationships no longer feel fulfilling. At this stage, you may find yourself naturally gravitating toward fewer people, but the ones you spend time with feel meaningful. Conversations feel richer, more honest, and more supportive. Presence is valued over quantity. It is no longer about popularity or recognition. Instead, the heart seeks connection that nourishes, encourages, and uplifts the soul. You start choosing relationships that remind you of what is important, not just the ones that make you feel temporarily good. This understanding also changes how you see gatherings and social events. Large crowds may feel exhausting, even overwhelming, because your heart is no longer satisfied with surface level interaction. The energy of many people does not replace meaningful attention or real understanding. You may notice that a quiet conversation with someone sincere brings more joy and clarity than hours in a noisy room. Choosing depth over numbers is not about avoiding people or isolating yourself. It is about alignment. The heart becomes intentional about where it spends its energy, with whom it shares its thoughts, and what kind of presence it allows in its life. You learn that true value is in quality, consistency, and sincerity. Over time, this perspective brings clarity and peace because the heart stops chasing quantity and starts embracing meaningful presence. This stage teaches patience, discernment, and gratitude. You no longer feel pressured to be everywhere or to please everyone. Instead, you focus on relationships that truly matter, that reflect goodness, honesty, and care. The heart learns that it is not the number of people around you that shapes your peace, but the depth of connection you allow into your life. When this understanding settles in, the soul begins to feel lighter, calmer, and more aligned with purpose. Allah is preparing you for a deeper inner relationship. There comes a time when the heart grows quieter, not because the world has changed, but because the heart itself is being prepared. You may notice that people who were once close feel distant, places that were exciting feel empty, and ordinary routines no longer satisfy you. This does not happen by accident. It is Allah gently preparing you for a deeper, more intimate relationship with Him, one that does not rely on noise, distraction, or constant validation. During this stage, you may feel misunderstood. Others may not understand why you prefer solitude, why you seek less company, or why the presence of crowds no longer brings joy. It can feel isolating, but this is part of the process. Allah is creating space in your life for sincerity and focus, removing anything that might distract the heart from its true purpose. The distance you feel from people and environments is actually a sign of closeness with Allah. He is drawing you inward so that the relationship you have with Him can deepen. As the heart grows quieter, you become more aware of your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. You begin to notice patterns that were once hidden, understand feelings that were once ignored, and recognize desires that were once confused. This awareness is part of the preparation. Allah is teaching you patience, trust, and attentiveness. You start to realize that your soul is the place where true connection begins. and that connection cannot be found in noise, distraction, or superficial attention. This preparation also brings clarity about relationships and priorities. You begin to understand which people, habits, and environments are beneficial for your growth and which ones no longer serve you. This is not about judgment, it is about protection and focus. Allah is guiding the heart to choose what aligns with His wisdom so that your inner life becomes strong, balanced, and resilient. Over time, this deepening relationship transforms the way you experience the world. Crowds may still exist, conversations may still happen, but you are no longer dependent on them for satisfaction. Your sense of peace, joy, and stability comes from within, from the quiet connection that is being cultivated between you and Allah. What may have felt like loneliness is actually a blessing, a sacred opportunity to grow closer, trust more deeply, and anchor yourself in a love and presence that never fades. The heart learns that real fulfillment is not in what the world offers, but in what Allah places inside you. And when this relationship matures, you walk through life with calm, clarity, and strength. You no longer search for what you once needed outside, because you have discovered that the most profound companionship, guidance, and peace have always been within reach. This is the gift of preparation, and it is a sign of a heart being shaped for a life of sincerity, wisdom, and deep connection. Now take a moment and feel your heart. Notice how it feels after listening. If you have been watching this video until now, it is no coincidence. Allah brought this message to you at this exact moment in your life, and He has placed it inside your heart for a reason. You may have started this video feeling confused, restless, or disconnected, but now you have a deeper understanding. You know why crowds no longer satisfy you, why silence feels comforting, and why your inner emptiness may actually be the beginning of something extraordinary. Remember, this is just the beginning. The peace, clarity, and calm you are feeling is a sign that Allah is reshaping your heart, preparing you for a deeper connection with Him, and guiding you toward what truly matters. Take this awareness with you. Observe your thoughts, your feelings, and the choices you make. Let this understanding guide you, not just today, but every day. The next time you feel the pull of noise, the pressure of people, or the emptiness of crowds, remember this moment. Remember that Allah is filling your heart with something far greater than attention, popularity, or temporary comfort. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, trust that your heart is being guided, protected, and prepared. Let this be a turning point. Let this be the moment when your heart starts walking closer to the peace it has been searching for all along. And if this message reached you, I want you to share it. Send it to someone who has been feeling restless, disconnected, or tired of crowds. Remind them that what they feel is not wrong, it is a sign that their heart is being guided, prepared, and protected. Stay with this understanding, carry it in your heart, and let it shape your days. Your journey is just beginning, and the peace you are discovering now is only the start of a life that feels whole, calm, and aligned.